Welcome back to Les Schwab Tire Center's Outdoor GPS, presented by Fisherman's Marine and Outdoor. Now it's time for your weekend tech tip, brought to you by Chevy Silverado.
Now, every so often, we're able to put in a couple of Chevy Silverado tech tips of the week, and I'm barely holding on because I just found out that in this last segment, I had a spider crawling up and down my shirt. And if anybody knows me personally, you know that ain't good for me. But this one is a good one. Go ahead and put that question up. This is from Daniel. He actually sent this in, I believe, a couple weeks ago. And it says here, I'm looking into buying a boat. My question is, other than obvious things like life jackets, fire extinguishers, etc., safety gear, everyone, what do you think 10 most important things are to have in your boat? Now, I actually spent a little bit of time yesterday just kind of going over it because this is pretty fresh, right? In my head, I just put a new sled together. And this is in no particular order. I probably should have given it to you, Ryan, and put you to work, but you probably don't need to. Anyway, I don't want to be too professional. First one I've got here is the boat extendable hook. You know, the long telescopic hook that you grab your anchor rope with, or for that matter, anything, right? I've used that hook to save our, wow, you almost had to hit the button on that one, to save ourselves more than once on a river, run out of gas, grab a limb. Okay, just saying, that is a safety feature all by itself, that boat extendable hook. Go to Fisherman's, you'll find it, you can't miss it, it's extendable. You get the longest one that you think that you need. You can't have too long. Floats for your boat keys. I actually use a killer fish size 15 or even a flatfish T55. That's my float for, there you go. Get out of here, you're gonna get me in trouble. Which is a good one though. He's got a thing with his own moniker on it. Marketing. But yeah, that's what I use. My keys are right on the back of that. I test it though every year, every time when I have a new setup, I make sure to test my keys with this that it's going to float it. And of course, my key is actually the old school double treble that caught a fish, and I decided to turn it into a keychain for some stupid reason. But it's a good one. Bonker for your fish, right? You get yourself a Chinook, steelhead, whatever, wood shampoo. Okay, you need that in the boat. Long-handled Beckman net. There's no question that if you don't have a good net in the boat, you can have any kind of net, right? And any net might work. But if you got an extendable handle or one that's just got a long handle already on it, that is a huge advantage. Doesn't matter what species. If you're targeting kokanee or trout or whatever, you can go smaller if you want to, but the longer the handle you can get away with, the better. Trust me, you don't want to have that little short handle and you got a true trophy no matter what species it is and you just can't reach it. Drives me bonkers when I'm in that situation. It's usually somebody else's boat. Dock lines and bumpers, right? So when you pull up to a dock or whatever it is, especially if it's a new boat, myself, I look at my boats as a hammer. Boom, I just kind of do what I do. I just make sure that I've got good dock lines so I can tie off the front and back of the boat, so it doesn't go anywhere. Absolute must-haves. Don't go cheap on your bumpers either. Maybe if you're hog lining, stuff like that, where you're going to be close to boats, mandatory to have stuff like that. Then anchor and more than enough rope. And the reason why I put it that way is that I don't know what kind of boat he's talking about. Is he going to be out on the Columbia? Is he going to be in a lake? I don't know. But you have to have some sort of an anchor system for a number of reasons. One, for fishing, but also if you lose power, and if you haven't been there yet and you own a boat, it'll happen to you at some point in time. That anchor has saved me and my buddies more than once, being able just to drop it and figure out what the heck is going on. If you lost power, if you ran out of fuel, a number of things can go wrong. If you're just all of a sudden free drifting around, nothing but bad comes from that. So keep that in mind. An anchor system of some sort with more than enough rope, right? So if you're going to be anchoring on the Columbia or the Willamette, a standard Columbia River anchor system that's too heavy, okay? Bigger is way better, and a minimum of 300 feet. If not, if it's a smaller boat, Daniel, if you're doing something else, you know, 50, 60 feet and a good-sized anchor to keep you safe, must have. Next one, drag bags with floats, okay? You can have a drag bag, but if something happens, which it seems to happen all the time, if that thing gets away from the boat, you don't have a float on it, you just lost your drag bag, and they're not cheap. Fisherman's loves it, but none of us do. So a drag bag, again, if you're going to be anchor fishing, trying to be a little general there. A good depth finder, fish finder. You can spend up to $20,000 on electronics. Jeez, more than that. You don't have to. There's a lot of different fish finders out there for any size boats that you might want to get. Get a GPS, though, no matter what you do. And I think probably all of them are that way now. But get yourself a good depth finder, fish finder. Absolute must-have in the boat. Another safety feature, really. Good storage for your lead and scent. Waterproof if possible. You need to take care of your sinkers, your lead. That gets expensive. They end up all over the boat. Don't do that because you'll end up losing some. Dissimilar metals are not really a good thing on an aluminum boat. But a good place to store your lead and your scent. Take care of your Procure. Keep it out of the sun. Must have. Simple as that. Number 10 is extra plugs for your boat, right? Transom plugs. Right now, I've got a 2025, and the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life is that you have to have screw-in plugs now. And I've got a tunnel hole, which will be another segment we're going to talk about. But I've got one on each side of that tunnel hole. I hate it. But apparently it's the law now. So I got extras because I guarantee you I'm going to lose them. It happens. And the bonus one that I threw in here is a washdown system or a bucket, okay? Preferably a good washdown system. They're very easy to install. I actually installed more than one. Make a good hole, though, if you decide to do that yourself, or go to Portland Marine and get it done the right way. Or just an old school bucket in the boat, because you got to wash out all kinds of different things. You can put your fishing in if necessary. But that bucket or a way to wash your boat down is very important. It certainly comes in handy. Okay, how'd I do? Oh, and remember to check your fire extinguishers for your expiration. Looks like somebody called in and shared that as well. All right, let's go to a quick break as well. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes to wrap things up and have your Pike Mental reward numbers for you for those that are chasing them. And maybe you should as well.